Dímelo, mi gente. What's up? It's your boy Gus from GusVillaJewelry, back with another Q&A Fridays where I answer your burning hot questions about jewelry. In this episode, we're going to answer questions from everyone that answered on my DM. As always, I put up a questionnaire. I ask you to ask me anything you would like to know about jewelry. I picked the 5 best questions, and we're going to answer them today. Without further ado, let's roll that intro music. Let's go. God, it's a little too much, man. GusVillaJewelry. First question is by Last of the Bests. It reads,
Don't worry about it.
No, hey, dog, just call me in the middle of a YouTube video, man. Question number 1 is by Last of the Bests. What's the perfect amount of jewelry pieces to wear daily without looking too much? That's relative, my friend. It depends on what you consider too much. Some people think kilo chains are just right, and they daily wear them because they're animals and they're savages. My combination that I think is the absolute best is 2 chains. One a 6mm or 7, stacked with an 8mm or 9. You could stack those 2, you could daily wear it. It's a really good look, and if ultimately you don't want to look too flashy, you could take one off. As far as bracelet goes, I'll do anything from a 10 to a 12mm. Maybe if I'm really rocking something really gaudy, I'll do a 14mm. That's about as high as I go for a daily wear. So 2 chains, 1 bracelet, and a really nice watch. We're gonna get into some watch content very soon, so stick around for those. Question number 2. Francisco Alcala asks, tips for young people interested in jewelry, for apprentices, etc. That's a really good question, and I have a whole video on how to get started with your own jewelry business if that's what you're looking to get into. I'm gonna put the link right here so you can easily click into it, and make sure to watch the whole thing because it gives you a lot of helpful tips. But if you just want some bullet points, here's what I would do. Google all the jewelry shops and retail stores in your area, call them all one by one. You're gonna get a bunch of no's. You're probably gonna get 95% of no's of people not interested in hiring any apprentices, but keep on calling. Eventually someone's gonna tell you yes, even if you could just mop the floors. That's how a lot of people get into this business, because there's no formal training or formal schooling that can really secure you a job in this industry. It's all really about who you know. Ask around. Eventually, you're going to get someone to say yes. Take any job just to start off. It doesn't matter about the money. What you're looking for is the education and the connection. I talk about more about it in the video. Don't forget to watch it. That's the best thing I could do for now. Next question. Question number 3 from Ditto M's. What's easier to work with, silver or gold, and why? That is also a phenomenal question, and a lot of people have this misconception that it has everything to do with the thickness and the hardness of the metal. It literally has nothing to do with that. Both silver and gold are relatively easy metals to deal with, as opposed to other metals like platinum, which are very difficult to work with because of their high temperature melt rate. Those type of metals are a kick in the balls. But gold and silver are relatively simple. Now, what's easier to work with on a daily basis? Silver. And let me explain to you why. Silver, contrary to popular belief, is relatively soft. It's pretty easy to work with as opposed to gold, but that's not the real reason why it's easier to work. Alternatively, you can also work with 24 karat or 18 karat, which are pretty soft as well, but it doesn't have anything to do with the hardness of the metal. It has to do with the loss of the metal. See, silver, it doesn't matter if you lose 1 gram, 2 grams, 3 grams, because it's not expensive of a metal, you can lose material and it doesn't kill your bottom line, as opposed to gold. Gold is a very finicky metal, and because you have to mix it with different alloys, you can, number 1, contaminate the gold. Now, what happens when you contaminate the gold? You then have to remelt the gold over and over. Every single time you remelt that gold, you're losing material in the crucible, you're losing material during the stretch, you're losing material during the file. So because of that loss of material, and there's so many extra steps that you have to take so that you don't lose as much material, it's much more difficult to work with gold. Say we're doing 2 kilo chains. If I'm doing a silver kilo chain, I could care less about anything that falls on the floor. Maybe I get some silver powder on my hand and my hair. I don't really care. It doesn't cost much. However, if it's 18 karat gold, every gram of 18 karat gold that I lose is about $44 roughly. So when you're talking about a kilo chain, let's say for instance you lose 30 grams, what's 30 times 40? About $1,200. What you're losing is about $1,200 some odd dollars. That's a lot of money. So it's much easier to work with silver because there's less control. You don't have to be so meticulous. You don't have to look around to see if anybody had a little gold dust in their hair. Easier. And that's why I would much rather work with silver. But of course, my customers demand gold, and I sell about 80 to 20% in gold as opposed to silver. Great question though. Question number 4. Vinay Kothrathi 17. I own a jewelry shop can we do business? This is a question that I get asked all the time. Jewelry stores will call me and they'll say, hey Gus, can you sell it to us at a wholesale value, etc., etc. I will buy bulk. And the simple answer is no. I only do retail. And here's the reason why. I get so many orders from retail customers. Usually wholesalers are people that need to move bulk orders. So they're gonna cheapen their prices to move a lot more inventory. And ultimately that gives you a discount if you're a jewelry shop selling jewelry. But I don't wanna do that. I sell to retail and consumers. Thank all goodness, knock on wood, I have enough retail customers that keep us profitable, and therefore I don't need to wholesale or bulk orders. Plus, and here's the main reason why, I don't wanna have any of my products and my quality with anybody else's name behind it. GusVillaJewelry is something that I take extreme pride on. Every single piece that comes out of my shop, we're not perfect, but I try to be, goes out with the utmost quality control. And that is because it has our company's name on it. And therefore, I don't want another company taking any credit for any of the chains that we make. If it's a GusVillaJewelry chain, it was made by our shop, not by anybody else's. So no, unfortunately, I do not wholesale. It's only to retail. Question number 5 and final question comes from Rob G's 11. He wants to know, what other chains do you make other than Cuban links? Well, to be honest with you, it's supply and demand, right? Right now, I have a huge demand for Cuban link chains. However, I do make other types of chains and they are going onto the website very, very soon. I make Figaro chains. I also make tennis chains. I could also make you a Chino link and a Franco chain, but there has to be a high demand for us to make them and be profitable. Right now, we are going to be adding Figaro chains and tennis chains to the website. They're going to be completely custom made in either lab diamonds, moissanites, or natural diamonds, and whatever size you like, white, gold, and rose gold in both 10 and 14 karat. You choose. You're going to be able to make it completely customizable. I do make a lot of these chains already right now, and if you're interested in it, the shop's telephone number is on the website. You can call us and figure out any pricing that you'd like. But for right now, my biggest demand is Cuban links, and that's the reason why we make them. Plus, we make a damn good Cuban link chain. We're one of the best making them, and we're really proud of that, so that's why we kind of stick to what we know, but we can make anything else for you. That is for sure. If you're interested in one specifically that you haven't seen on my website, or I didn't mention any before, feel free to call us, see if we do make it, and if we can make that for you, we will. So that about wraps it up for another Q&A Fridays. As always, when I put that post on Instagram, ask any question, you might just see it in the next video. See you guys in the next one. GusVillaJewelry.com if you're interested in any custom work, custom pendants, earrings, rings, whatever you want, I got it for you. Plus, we're doing engagement rings. As always, we can source any single stone that you'd like for you. Call us. We'd love to give you a quote. Also, Cuban link chains. You know we're the kings of that, so you don't even have to ask. I'll see you guys in the next video. Subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here because I need a drink and I need a haircut. Look at this thing. It's disgusting. Goodbye.